Every dawn is a doorway, and dreamers walk through on purpose. Here, we master mindset, raise oral intelligence, and rebuild legacy brick by brick. We honor who we were before the world tried to rename us. I'm Dr. Shon, dentist, alchemist, Niji, daughter of the land, and this is the Hood to Hooded show, where we transform, rise, and stay risen. Welcome to the tribe.
What up, what up, what up? How y'all feeling, how you feeling, how you feeling? What up, what up? Welcome back to the Hood to Hooded podcast and show, okay? Today's title, well, first of all, go ahead and tap those hearts. If you're watching live, tap those hearts, share the video, let me know where you're watching from. Come in the chat, light the chat up, and let me know how you're feeling, how you doing, how you feeling. Thank you for tapping those hearts. Thank you for liking the live, guys. Use those spirit fingers. My name is, Dr. Chiefess Sunflower. And the title of today's episode is called Grow Like a Plant, Pivot Like a Pro, and Love Yourself Like It's a Mission. All right? Love yourself like it's a mission, boo. Because what else are you doing? I would like to know. So welcome to the room. Welcome to the tribe. Sending love to the ancestors. Ocio to my Niji. All right. So it is Sunday and we are about to get into it. I just got to check my volume. You know I'm a one-woman show, so... Tap those hearts if you can hear me, and we're going to get right into it. Right into it. So, grand Sunday to the dreamers and the visionaries and the Hood to Hooded family. Welcome to another episode of the Hood to Hooded podcast, the home of Unbreakable, the Unstoppable, the ones who turn pain into PhDs. And survival into sovereignty. I am your host, Dr. Shon. Some may know me as Dr. Chiefess Sunflower. Yes. Dr. Chiefess Sunflower in the building. So I'm a dentist by heart, a dreamer by birth, and a woman walking in her purpose every single day. Okay? Let me know if you can get with it. Let me know if you can get down with that. This is our Sunday reset where we slow down just enough to hear ourselves again. That's what it's about. Where we remember that peace is our power. If peace is your power today, I need you to tap those hearts. I need you to feel it in the spirit. Okay? This is the day where we reflect, we realign, and reassure the parts of us that got tired last week. You know, last week was a lot. This year has been a lot. I mean, sometimes you just gotta laugh to keep from crying. Okay? This year has been a lot, and you know, today we talking about resetting the spirit, planning your content for the creators out there. We're gonna talk about planning your content with clarity, staying the course even when life tries to, you know, knock you down, kick you down, stomp you down to the ground, child. And loving on yourself loudly and proudly. And lastly, we're going to talk about growing a little bit, just a little bit every single day, like a plant fed with intention. Okay, if you're ready to get into it, say let's go, Dr. Shon. Let's go. So before we even get started, let's get some TikTok etiquette, because I'm multi-streaming on TikTok. If I am streaming and I don't see your comment, I will get to it if I'm in the middle of like a topic. Make sure you grab your daily heartbeats on the TikTok, and if you're watching from anywhere else, make sure you are following. All right, so let's do some light breath work just to reset our energy. Okay, so I would like for us all to just take some slow, deep breaths. Inhale your purpose, and then on the exhale, we're going to exhale any pressure you may be feeling going into the next week. All right, so let's go. Inhale purpose. Exhale the pressure. It's just to settle the energy. We also want to inhale clarity and exhale any chaos that may be bombarding your mind right now, or that you're thinking about this week, or as we head into December. Let's inhale clarity, okay? And exhale chaos. All right? And the last piece of breath work that we're going to do is to inhale new beginnings and exhale old versions of you that expired last Thursday. You trying to still hang on to them, and it's Monday. You need to let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. This is a reset set. So we're going to inhale new beginnings and exhale old versions of ourselves. Even the old version from last week, you still trying to grow from last week. If you ain't grow since last Thursday, I don't know what you're doing, because every day we're trying to elevate. Thank you for following. All right. So let's inhale new beginnings and exhale old versions of ourselves. I feel calmer already. So I kind of went a little fast with the breathing exercises, but that's something that we could do to reset our energy, and that's what we had to do today, just so we can go into this stream calm, focused, with intention. All right, so let's talk about the moment that you decided to change. I know for me, every day I'm making different changes in life, but you know, we didn't just wake up and say, hey, I'm willing to change and I want to do it now. It is like a process, right? So a moment when I decided to change, I was willing to stop allowing the circumstances to bully me into fearing success, because some of us fear success. I was willing to start watering my own soil. So many of us, you know, we want to have that moment where we decide to change, but we are afraid to grow. We are afraid to water our own soil. We can always water the soil for other people, pour into other people, but when it comes time to pour into yourself, are you focused? Are you able to push through and do it? I know I am. When I decided to change, I had to be willing to stop waiting for motivation and start building discipline. Because you could be motivated all day long. I motivate people all day long. That don't mean they're going to go and do what I motivated them to do. It takes action. It takes action to motivate yourself, right? So some of us had the same week last week, and a reminder that we don't take accountability. And this is when you stay stuck for always putting other people before you, you know? And when it comes to moving forward, transformations don't happen just by wishing. So we got our notepad today, right? Because we know that only 3% of dreamers have clear written goals. So if you're watching this, you probably don't have clear written goals. You probably don't. So this is the moment where we say, you know what? I want to change. I can't keep wishing. I got to actually take action. Actually take action. And be disciplined. All right? It comes from owning your story. The moment you decide to change, you will be like, you know what? I own my story. I own where I come from. That's why I own the hood to hood narrative, because I own that coming from a place where most people will count you out is not easy. Coming from a place where you might count yourself out, that's not easy. So you must learn how to own your story, whatever that is. I was listening to a story this morning from on Facebook with Coach Stormy. Okay, she's out of Miami with the 1,000 millionaires, I think it is. And she was just telling the story about how her mama was out of town. I think she was 13 years old, and she was home, and the water was off, and something else was off. And she met these guys. She was 13 years old. Somebody took her to the strip club, I guess, and some guy walked up to her, asked her to lift her dress up, and she started, stripping, and she made $600 that day. But that story was not her ending, it was her beginning. Because yes, she was a minor in the strip club. It was the worst story that you could think. You could think somebody like this isn't going to end up being a millionaire or figuring it out. Life is going to beat them down. But she figured out a way to turn her story into a testimony, into something she now travels around the world to inspire people with. So no matter what your story is, you must own it. You have to own it and turn it into a gold mine. Turn it into something positive. You don't have to look like what you've been through. I don't have to look like what I've been through. I don't have to talk like what I've been through. I don't have to claim that every second. I can use what I've been through, turn it into something else. I use what I've been through and turn it into a doctoral degree. Something that's not easy. Something that takes years of deciding that, you know what, this is the moment that I'm going to change. Okay, this is the moment I stop settling. I stop counting myself out. All right. Welcome in on TikTok. How y'all feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling? This is the moment you decide, I'm going to grow like a plant, pivot like a pro, and love myself like it's a mission. Because I'm on to something. I'm headed somewhere. And nothing can stop me, boo. That's what you got to tell them. Nothing can stop me, boo. Nothing. So a Sunday reset is really what it sounds like. The reset, I may not have gotten everything right last week. I might have stumbled a little bit last week. Could have did better. But guess what? We didn't quit. We are still here, still growing, and still willing to become the version of ourselves that, scares our old fears. You had fears about becoming who you are right now, but you still did it. You had fears about walking into your next destiny, but you still did it. You still walked in with your head held high. You still showed up, unapologetic with a little bit of fear. And you did not allow it to stop you. We don't allow it to stop us. So on this Sunday reset, we want to give ourselves space to breathe, like we did at the beginning of this broadcast, just to breathe, and exhale all the BS. All right, we want to exhale all of the things that do not help us prepare to rise to the next part of our life. Sometimes that baggage can hold you down. It's not needed. It's extra weight. It's stressing you the hell out. Let it go. Okay? That's how you grow. Let it go in order to grow. Period. Let it go. So, growing like a plant. We're going to use a plant for our analogy today on growing. I often use a plant to transform. When you look at a plant, it grows a little bit every day. It's a quiet growth. It's consistent. And it's unapologetic. It don't care how you feel. It's still going to grow, right? When you plant a seed and it gets water and it gets sunlight and the proper nutrients, guess what? It's going to grow. It doesn't matter what plant next to is growing. It doesn't matter. It's still going to grow consistently, unapologetically, and quietly. Right? What else do we notice about a plant in its growth? What else do we notice about it? It doesn't rush. Oh no, it doesn't rush. It takes its time. And if you go away for a little while and you come back in a week or two, you'll notice, dang, this plant looked like it wasn't growing, but it's much bigger. You might have to take a picture, because it does it silently and not in a rush. It doesn't compete with other people. Oh yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't compete with other people when it grows. So when you're in your season of growing, you don't have to rush. What you rushing for? You don't have to compete. It's enough for everybody who is trying to be successful and do something where it inspires, teaches, enhances other people. Guess what else a plant doesn't do when it grows? It doesn't explain itself. You so busy trying to explain your growth to this person, trying to explain this, trying to explain that. You ain't got to explain yourself. Just grow. Grow like a plant. Don't rush, don't compete, and no explanation needed. You know the areas where you lack. I know the areas where I lack in order for me to grow. But as I grow, I'm going to take my time. You know, speed up when I can, slow down when I need to, but take my time. Don't rush it. And if you do this process, if you don't rush, if you don't compete, if you don't explain, and you grow as your authentic self, regardless of who's around you, regardless of what other people have to say, you continue to seek positivity, inspiration, and knowledge, you're going to get a little taller every day. You're going to grow a little stronger every day. And you're going to get a little closer to the sunshine in your life every single day. That's how I want us to move this week. With small daily growths, not overwhelming leaps, focusing on one habit that you want to perfect. Well, we shouldn't say perfect. One habit that you want to enhance, we'll say. One healthier thought. I know after last week, you know, everybody pigged out, ate so much, gained a couple pounds, you know, all of this stuff. So what is one healthier thought that we can have? Maybe that could be, oh, I'll drink more water, or, you know, I want to go swimming again. And what is one boundary that you can hold firmer? So I know I've been slacking on my live time since I've been on like staycation, but that's one thing that I've been slacking on. I got to do better. I mean, I'm not going to beat myself up for it because it's balance. I still show up every day, but it's about holding the boundary just a little bit tighter. That's how we truly, truly grow. All right? And to our creators out there, to the people who are trying to develop those multiple streams of income, what is one content that you can create this week with intention? One piece of content, even though you need a lot more than that in the content creation space, but what is one piece that you can focus on that really like holds true to who you are? All right? So that's my task for us this week on the Hood to Hooded podcast, is to grow like a plant, gentle and unstoppable. Because you know what? Nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. All right. So let's go into our next segment. Grab your notebook or just a piece of paper. We're going to talk about content planning for the week for our dreamers. Or even if you're not into content, just talking about your week, or you know, December is here, planning your month. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So dreamers, pull out your planners, your notebooks, your phones, your Notion AI, and let's talk about the week and make sure it's gonna go smooth for us. All right. So this week, when you plan your content, you want to say, okay, what is my focus? Or maybe you already have your niche or your niche. All right. You want to choose some themes that you can focus on. Are you going to focus on motivating people? Focus on dentistry, oral health. Number one, we're going to do step one. Let's see, what am I going to focus on this week? Well, I stream every day, so I'm probably going to do a little bit each day. Like today is Sunday, we're doing a reset. Next Sunday, I'll probably do another reset. Tomorrow, we already got planned to do, I think, motivation. tomorrow, just a motivational topic. And then Tuesday, so you can see how you can start to plan your content, what you're gonna do each day. Even if you just do the same thing each day, just how you're gonna mix it up. What can you add to it? How can you make it more engaging, entertaining? How can you increase your, your streaming presence, or, the quality of your content? Do you need a logo? Do you need to stick with certain colors? Like, it's a lot that goes into it, but again, we focus on just action, not perfection. Because perfection will stop a lot of people. Well, I don't know what I should do. I don't know. Just do something and try it out. If it go left, try something else. But don't sit waiting. So Tuesday, we're going to go easy for me to plan content like lightning right now. Right? So Wednesday, we might do like AI. Thursday, no, I think Thursday is our AI day. Wednesday, we're going to do entrepreneurship. Friday, we're going to do Finance Friday. I don't really know exactly what I'm talking about. We just brainstorming here. Saturday, Niji Saturday. And now I got like a little list. The next thing you want to do when you have your content themes lined out is you want to write down your non-negotiables. So say, hey, I'm going to go live this many days per week. Negotiables. So say, hey, I'm going to go live this many days per week. So for me, I'm going to go live 7 days. I've been on a 7-day streak for 60 plus days. So I'm on the roll, y'all. Like, tap those hearts. Show some love. It's free to hit that heart button. It's so free. It's free to get that daily heart me. Go ahead. It costs not a dime to hit that daily heart me. Write your other non-negotiables. So you can say record at least one pre-filmed piece of content or post a certain number of shorts every week. I've been really slacking on posting shorts. I have not really beat myself up about it because I go live every single day. And if you notice that you're going live and you're doing something consistent, don't beat yourself up if you're not doing everything consistent every day. Focus on the main goal, and the other stuff, other things that you want to accomplish are like the cherry on the top, right? They're the cherry on the top. Another thing that I really want us to do as content creators is make sure we are posting evergreen content on YouTube. One day this stuff can blow up and you might be like, whoa, I didn't know that video I made 2 years ago was going to feed me in this time that I'm in right now. So make sure you are focusing on that as well. I think YouTube is a great addition to our journey as creators. The next thing, and the third step, so after you pick your theme, you decide on your non-negotiables, what days you're going to go live, what you're going to record. Then you want to do your call to action. What is your call to action to your audience? What do you want your audience to do? If I was focused on, like, when I do the dental healthcare day, my goal for that day could be to get people to book an appointment at Motivational Dentistry, right? At the dental office. Or join our Smile Club. Or your goal could be to get people to follow your page. Or download your free lead magnet, such as a free PDF, right? So what is your call to action? That is the next thing you want to focus on. All right? So my call to action is for you guys to tap the hearts, show the love, share, follow, support any way you can, just so that we can grow as a network and as a community of like-minded thinkers, right? And the last thing we want to talk about when it comes to planning content and getting into your creator bag is batching in blocks. Thank you for joining the fan club, Afro, getting your daily heart me. How you feeling? How you feeling? Thank you, Don Flamer, for sharing the live. I appreciate you guys. Celebrate. All right. So batching in blocks. So you could do 60 minutes of filming. So every time I go live, I'm automatically recording 60 minutes of live footage that I can use and create shorts. It's just time consuming doing that. So that's why you need a system or somebody to add on to the team. Right now, I'm not adding anybody. I just do it one woman show right now. And that's okay with me because I'm not striving for perfection. We striving for consistency, right? So then you can say, hey, I'm going to film for 60 minutes, 30 minutes of editing. If y'all don't know, CapCut is the truth. I am in love with technology. I am in love with apps. I love trying new apps, AI. I love it all. I started with CapCut. I went around the block because I needed to do some things that CapCut didn't do, such as, for instance, like teleprompter. CapCut has a teleprompter now in the system where when you go to record the voiceover, you can put your script and it has the teleprompter. So you don't need to go and find all these other sources to do what CapCut does. It also has edit by text. So when I'm talking about 30 minutes of editing, it's basically like reading your script that you wrote, going through it, deleting the words, and then you got your video. It's so much faster. CapCut also has AI now. I made my intro video today using the AI from CapCut because I was like, somebody told me, oh, Dr. Shon, I came to your live when you first went live and it wasn't like you took too long on the intro. And I was like, okay, I like constructive criticism because I'm always trying to grow, right? I'm always trying to grow. So I said, okay, let me just go and see what I could do in CapCut. And it made me a bomb video, y'all. I was like, okay. It was okay. It was pretty cool. So, yeah. So just think about filming, editing, and then posting. You can even schedule your posts. And then engagement. That's one thing I can honestly say I need to work on, is engaging with the audience, like responding to comments. But you only got so much time in a day. And for me, I'm going to always choose like having a piece of the day of peace to myself. I feel like that's self-love because you can't just be strolling and engaging all the time. I can't do it. I try my best, but it's something I just have to work on, you know? So when you are consistent, it's going to feel lighter when you organize your load. That's what we always say, failing to plan in anything. And it doesn't have to be just creating content. Failing to plan in any area means that you are planning to fail because you haven't thought about it. That's like if you go and you want to take a test and you haven't studied, you don't know the subject, you're going to fail, right? You're going to fail. You're going to fail, my guy. Preparation is key. Facts. Preparation is key. Exactly. All right. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is pivoting without being ashamed to pivot. Have you ever like got started on a goal or went in the direction and it didn't really go the way you thought it was going to go? This is when you have to pivot without shame. All right? Life is going to hit you with all type of detours. And some of these detours in life will drag you all the way down. I'm talking about all the way down to the ground, and you feel like, oh, I done fell so low, I don't know where to go. That's life. Life is going to hit you with those detours. And then as you get older and you go through different decades of life, you're going to be faced with so many things from every aspect. But it's not meant to destroy who you are. It's meant to help you grow. And a lot of these things that we face are no force of your own. It's just based on the way history set it up for you to fail. It's based on the way the government perpetuated generational curses into the Neji, the melanated community. So a lot of it ain't even your fault. But just because it's not your fault doesn't mean that you can use that excuse forever. Yep, life be life-ing. With the ing at the end, okay? Life be lifing. It be lifing. It does. Right? But that doesn't mean that we can't kick life ass. Plans will fall apart. Oh yeah, your plans gonna fall right on apart like you ain't even if you plan. Guess what? Remember what I said? I said if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. But even when you plan, you can still fail. Well, they don't talk about that part. Even when you plan, you still got the risk of failing. Your plans can fall apart. Your feelings can change. Opportunities will show up out of nowhere. This is when you have to pivot. Pivoting is not failing. Pivoting is a strategy. Some people allow their failed plans, the detours that hit them, to just make them go to the left, and they never figure out how to pivot back. They get so embarrassed they don't want to talk. No. You know what? We got to go back to the drawing board. We got to go back to the drawing board and figure out where is the chokehold in the plan that we had. Something wasn't right. We have to pivot and go another direction. Pivot until something sticks. You want to pivot without shame. Pivot until you figure it out. My earlier years, I was interested in everything. I thought I would be so many different careers before I landed with dentistry. I looked into all of it. I thought I was going to be a pharmacist, a brain surgeon, a MD, a podiatrist, a nurse anesthetist. I had to pivot until I felt like something really stuck. And that's very true. Some kids go to college and they don't even know what major they're going to do. And they do pivot a lot, but they didn't have any plans. See, me, I had a plan to be in the medical field, but just didn't know what. But by pivoting and trying different things, I realized it was some things that I was wrong about that I would not enjoy. And it was some things that, okay, this seems more like me. So pivoting isn't bad at all. It is strategy, right? The tree that refused to bend cracks in the wind. The tree that adjusts survives the storm. What does that mean? If you're willing to bend a little bit when the wind, if you're willing to bend, then you won't break. But if you not willing to adjust, you won't survive the storm. You have to pivot. The detours came in your life. When my mom died at 7.5 years old, and I was just this little girl living with my grandma at the time, my dad's mom. I was living with my dad's mom because my mom was 14 when she had me. So she was just a child herself, right? Do you know that when she passed, I had to pivot? Even at the age of 7 years old. So whenever you have to pivot, it ain't no age limit on it. It ain't no time frame on it. And it ain't no say so and when you're going to have to pivot with something that you have no control over, such as losing people. That's the highest form of pivot you will ever have to do, is taking a loss. We have to weather the storm. Facts. Today I want you to give yourself permission to pivot, to change your content if it's not working, to change your career, your job title if it's not working, if it's not helping you accomplish your goals, giving you a higher quality of life. I need you to pivot. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. You're going to regret it if you don't. To change your goals. Change your mind about some things. Change your pace. Don't be working yourself down to the ground for what? We got to work smarter, not harder. Maybe you don't need 3 jobs. Maybe you need a 1 job that can pay you like those 3 jobs. Maybe it's time for you to step out on that invention you've been hiding from the world. Maybe you've been hiding that talent and you ashamed of pivoting into it because somebody told you, oh no, you shouldn't do that. Don't listen to those people. Because those are people who refuse to pivot, and now they don't want you to pivot. They're like, no, don't change your mind. Stick with that what ain't working. If it ain't working, pivot. Okay? Don't stay where you are. You are not lost. You're just evolving, and that is okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's time for us to love ourselves out loudly. That's why this is called Grow, where we talked about how the plant grows unapologetically, calmly. It doesn't compete. It doesn't worry about other people. We talked about pivoting, where you gonna pivot if it's time for you to switch to something else because this lane might not be working. And now we're gonna talk about loving on yourself loudly. This is very key to everything that we talked about. Because even if you pivot and you don't love yourself, you're going to pivot to a brick wall. And I'm not talking about the fake love to yourself where you like, yeah, I love myself. I mean, really love yourself out loud. Really love yourself. Really believe in yourself. Loud. Be loud and proud. Self-love is not soft. People talking about, oh, it's soft love. When you love on yourself, I want you to love yourself real hard. I want you to love on yourself like it's a muscle that you're working on. Every day I love myself even more. And my self-love muscle growing every single day. Self-love is about discipline, accountability. It's about growing in areas where you're weak. It's about pivoting in areas where you're not as strong. It's about just knowing how to go to the atmospheres and the environments in life that cater to who you are, not the ones that tear you down. You know when something's tearing you down because you're gonna feel it. You know how it feels. Be intentional as fuck. Period. Yeah. It's about actually telling yourself the truth you don't want to hear. Have you ever had that moment you like, dang? But it's okay, because those are moments where you gain wisdom. The most and the best quality of wisdom come in the moments when you make the biggest mistakes. Sometimes it feels like it'd be a little too late, but you don't get that wisdom for you. You get that wisdom to help other people, right? You got to love yourself enough to rest when you're tired. You got to love yourself enough to try again. My journey to being a dentist came with a lot of failures in classes. It came with a lot of denials from applications. It came with a lot of heartbreak, homelessness, losing people. It came with a lot, but you got to love yourself enough to try again. You might have lost someone so close to you, but you can't predict their life and what was the plan for their life. You can only love yourself even more and grow from your connection to those people and appreciate the time you shared with them. That's what I had to learn over decades of crying and feeling depressed and feeling outdone and feeling my weakest and feeling, burned out from not having my mom, not having that tight bond with my father in the earlier years. That could have took me out just from that alone, but I said, you know what? I love myself enough to try again. So what if they denied me? I'm going to try again. You know what they say? If you don't have a table, if they won't let you sit at their table, you're going to get your own table. Build your own table. It might be a little harder, but anything that is hard is a lot more worth it than something that is easy and handed to you because you can't really appreciate it, right? You got to love yourself enough to stop shrinking. Stop shrinking when you go in the room. Hold your head up. How you going to be different from other people? So what? So what? We don't shrink when we go in the room. We need you. We love ourselves loud and proud. And if you don't like it, get you some sunglasses. Okay? I want you to love yourself enough to start shining. Absolutely. Can't stop, won't stop. Period. Can't stop, won't stop. You better know it. You better know it. So this week, tribe, I need us to hold ourselves accountable. This week, I want you to hold yourself accountable. I want to hold myself accountable with compassion, though. Can you do that? Can you hold yourself accountable just being compassionate for yourself? That can't be too hard. Some people lack compassion for themselves. They will sit in the mirror, talk so ugly to themselves. That, oh, I'm just this, I don't have this. Pessimistic. You're just killing your soul from the inside out. But now I need you to be accountable for the things that you speak out of your mouth when it comes to you. I need you to be compassionate. Don't punish yourself. Oh, no. Don't have any guilt about the past, what you didn't accomplish. I don't want you to walk into this week and the rest of your life with that guilt. Don't Don't seek perfectionism right now. We're talking about being accountable for compassion. What does that mean, Dr. Shon? What does it mean to be compassionate and accountable for myself? It means, did I show up for myself today? Did I wake up with the sunrise and feel proud and had positive energy, and I smiled at myself today? I looked in the mirror and I said, you know what, self? You a bad mother sucker. That's when you have compassion for yourself. You wake up and you be like, you know what, self? Ooh, you showing out. Right? It means saying, did I water my goals today? Because remember, we talked about growing, pivoting, and loving on yourself. Did you water your goals today? I water my goals because my goal is to just stream every day for an hour. If I show up here and talk about stuff that's inspiring, it's because I just can't sit on the camera. It's like, I just got to talk about something. So, I show up and I try to inspire. So my goal is accomplished. Hopefully I inspire somebody, because I see 1.2K hearts on TikTok. We met our 1K heart goal. So obviously I inspired. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that. When you want to know if you're holding yourself accountable with compassion, you ask yourself, did I love myself in action today? Not with just words saying, oh yeah, I love myself. I mean, like going to work out, taking some time to slow down and take some deep breaths, just taking a walk to smell the flowers. I mean, really loving on yourself by connecting to yourself in the spirit, taking action, drinking some water, You did that. Oh, thank you, Afro. I appreciate it. So that's what it means to be accountable for yourself. Growth requires us to be honest with no excuses. When I first started dental school, the one thing that kind of helped me get through it, because it was such a eye-opening experience. I mean, like from the moment you step on the campus, you are basically like a studying machine. You like a studying machine, right? So one thing they told me was that you can't really have no excuses. Like if you fail, like they don't really care about your excuses. You know what else don't care about your excuses? Thank you, Shell, for tapping those hearts. Hey, how you doing, boo? Right? You can have no excuses. None at all. And I knew when I walked on that campus ready to seek my doctoral degree, I couldn't have no excuses. Just because I came from the hood, just because I done came from poverty, I done taught myself to get in here now. I got to stand up, be tall, represent myself. I can't be weak. I got to study like the rest of them. I can't fall now. You can't fall now. Right? You can't fall now. So guys, I want us to think about some prompts that we could think about in our journal, or even if you just want to think about it for the week, that's going to help us bloom, help us water those seeds. Too many people out here planting seeds and they let the seeds die because they don't water it, they don't tend to it, they don't care. The self-care is lacking, the pivoting is lacking, the growth is lacking. So say, what do I need to release before Monday to get me back on the right track? What do you need to release today from the past? Or just your energy? What do you need to release? Is it some negativity that you woke up feeling? I need you to release it right now. Right? And then think about, tell them, sis. She said facts. Shell said facts. Afro said facts. Right. What do I want this week to feel like? So for me, I want this week to feel like, I'm tightening up my goals. Like I have goals. Today I realized, dang, my goals is I'm going towards them, but I need to tighten it up a little bit. I really need to stop playing with myself. That's what I told myself today. I was like, I got to stop playing with myself and go even harder for the podcast. Go even harder for dentistry. Go even harder, prove myself even more. Not like going hard, like hustling harder, but smarter. Just really just getting that positive energy is what I mean. So what's one small habit that will help me grow the most this week? One small habit that's going to help me grow the most this week, for me, honestly, is just continuing to stream every day, but trying to meet my 8 a.m. time. That'd be a little bit difficult, but when work starts, I can meet it more. But just one habit that you can grow with this week. All right? And another thing that I want us to think about and maybe write it down is, where do I need to pivot? We all have an area in life where we just need to pivot. This could be with your finances. Maybe you need to budget better, tighten that up. Maybe you need to start putting in applications for, the career that you long been avoiding. Maybe you need to go and start that business and sell something that you are very talented at selling that you've been holding back. We need that. We gonna need that about you. So stop playing around, start business, and do it. Maybe it was because you need this. You haven't been focusing on your YouTube channel. You want to be a content creator, but every day you say you're going to do it, you never do it. Where do you need to pivot this week? For me, I already know I need to pivot with tightening up some things on the podcast. I feel like I'm doing good, but I feel like I need to keep growing, keep trying to reach different people and showing up. All right? And the last question that I want us to write down is, how can I love myself better this week? How can you love yourself better this week? I'm going to actually write it down. You could just think about it in your head and really just think about it, right? How can I love myself better this week? How can you love yourself better this week? Put it in the chat or just think about it. You don't have to put it in the chat because I don't want you to tell everybody. This is for you. How can I love myself better this week? For me, I'm going to write it down. Loving myself better because I'm bad with communication with my family. Not on purpose. It's just that I'm so busy with the patients, and you got to have balance for that. You can't make no excuses. Just time don't care. It's going to keep going whether you communicate or not. For me, is to stop procrastinating and put my content out there. Yes, this was definitely for you. Put that content out there. We waiting on it and we need it. We waiting on you. All right? So give yourself a future seed and watch it bloom. So today we planting seeds, right? We planting seeds with everything that we learned about growing, pivoting, not holding ourselves back, Afro. Just going and putting that content out there. What is the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that you actually meet your goal and something great happens from it. You get over that anxiety, and you just start posting, It was the same way going live for me. I would go live, stop, and then I just said, you know what, bump it. I'm just going to go live every day. And the reason why I did that is to break what you're actually talking about is my consistency. Because if you don't force yourself to do it and force yourself to just, show up, it won't happen. So I went for a whole year, 2 years before I really got serious with streaming because I just was tired of failing and tired of not doing it. You know what I mean? Have you ever had that feeling dang, I want to do this so bad, but I'm not doing it? The only thing that's left to do is just to do it, right? Right. So let's repeat these affirmations for a new beginning. Say it in the spirit with me, guys. Y'all already know what time it is. We getting to the end of the broadcast. If you have any questions, put it in the chat. If you have any thoughts, put it in the chat. We got about a couple more minutes on here. Tap those hearts. Make sure you get your daily heart me. Show some love. All of that good stuff. So repeat after me. I grow a little every day. Right? Say it with me. I grow a little every day. Very good job, guys. The next thing we're going to say is I pivot with confidence and not fear. I pivot with confidence and not fear. This means that you ran into a roadblock and it caused you to pivot. But instead of pivoting in fear and not, you're going to pivot with confidence. You know what? Let me pivot. So I pivot with confidence and not fear. What's up, Love Loves Me? Got that number 2 gift card badge. All right. Our next affirmation is I choose peace over pressure. When life start pressuring you and you got an option to choose peace or pressure, it's like, I'm going to choose peace every time. Yes or no? So say it with me. I choose peace over pressure. Yes. We're choosing peace over pressure today, baby. All right. The next affirmation is I am consistent, disciplined, and accountable. Let's break that down. I'm consistent because I'm showing up regardless of how I feel, regardless if I feel like it's not perfect, regardless if I'm in my feelings and I'm scared a little bit, I'm going to be consistent and disciplined and still do it. And hold myself accountable to grow. When I don't do it, when I don't show up for myself, I need to figure out why. And don't be too hard on yourself. It's okay. Eventually you'll run into that place in life when you feel like, I just gotta make it. I just gotta succeed. I just gotta post. I just gotta find another way to change my situation. You'll know. You'll have that little feeling and you're like, I just gotta go hard. That's what happened with me with streaming. I was streaming. I started a 365-day consistency challenge. Failed it after the 30 days, and I failed it again after 30-something days, and I think I failed it again. This time I'm on like 60-something days, but you see, it all started with me being imperfect. It wasn't like, I was showing up every day. Now that I'm every day, I'm trying to figure out how to get my timing right. So that's what I mean by being consistent, disciplined, and accountable. So I am consistent, disciplined, and accountable. The next one is I am becoming the version of myself I prayed for. If you becoming the version for today is this week will reflect my highest self. So this week, as we reset our Sunday with love, growth, and pivoting, we're going to go in expecting to be our highest self. All right? You already know the pivot's going to happen, the detour is going to happen, but you going in this week prepared for anything, right? For anything that comes your way. Yes. So dreamers, I really appreciate you guys for tuning in to this Sunday reset. This is our sanctuary before the storm of the week hits. Once the week starts, things can go any kind of way. If nobody told you today that you are worthy of the life that you are dreaming about, I'm proof of that. I'm evidence of that. Life handed me something that didn't look pretty. It looked like a bunch of stereotypes. But you are the alchemist of your life, right? We are the scientists of how our life goes. We can change it just based on our mind. Just simple, a little tweak in the brain, a little tune up in your thinking, a little tune up in your motivation, a little tune up in your discipline, consistency, and intention. And when you line those up and you get in tune with your purpose, nothing gonna be able to stop you. Ain't a thing gonna be able to stop you. You are capable of the discipline that is required to get you to that step. You think that you can't do it. You think that you're not capable. You thinking that, it's going to be almost impossible. Maybe you got to be a little delulu. So childhood trauma, the childhood drama, the adult life drama, But you are capable of the discipline it requires. So just know, guys, that you are allowed to pivot. You are allowed to rest, recharge, and rise again. And that's it. That's all. You got it. All right. So make sure you are subscribed today. Turn on your notifications. Make sure you follow on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. And if you are local, you can book your dental appointment at Motivational Dentistry and join the Smile Club. If you want to shop this outfit that I have on today, this hat is tagged in the TikTok shop. These spectacles, earrings, and my little jean tie. I think this jean tie is super, super cute. It has a little chain around here, so you just hook it on like a necklace. Oh, I didn't even take my plastic on. I got dressed way too fast, but y'all couldn't tell. Anywho, That is our show. This is Dr. Cheat This Sunflower, your favorite dream pusher, signing out. You know, here on the Hoods of Hooded Show, the podcast, we are focused on growing a little every day and shining a lot. All right. So walk into this week like you know that our ancestors and the Creator were invested in your success. All right? They invested in your success. Walk in like you already know success was in your DNA. Because it is. I know I'm going to walk into this week just feeling like I can accomplish anything. I know December is going to be crazy for a lot of people going into the holidays. I don't really celebrate the holidays anymore, so my December gonna be chill, just focusing on family, community, business, peace, growing, and just loving on the tribe. Showing up here every day to inspire my crew, and yeah, that is our show. We got about 2 minutes. Let me know how you feeling in the chat. Any last minute thoughts, and then I'm out. Oh, another thing that I'm wearing that's in my TikTok shop is Glam Light Cinnamon Swirl. You know, Glam Light Cinnamon Squirrel. Cinnamon Swirl lip kit. And this is really like, it smells actually like cinnamons. Cinnabons. Alright. So we out of here, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning. And it probably will be 8 in the morning because I do have clinics. So that should be fun. And I will holler. Hey. Alright, that's our time, guys. See y'all tomorrow. Make sure you follow. Hey. Thank you, Miss Nicole. For liking the live. Hey. All right, guys.